The Alsco 500 has been postponed to tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. IndyCar is implementing a tire stint limit for the first race back at Texas. And it looks like Ferrari has the final dominoes falling into place for them to have an IndyCar engine in 2022. Let's talk about it. So as I had talked about earlier, the first order of business is talking about the fact that the Alsco 500 has been postponed to tonight at 7 p.m. due to rain. Obviously, they've got apparently a tropical storm over the track. That's very hard to get a race in during. I think this was probably the right call. I mean, they were going to have to run the race at 2 in the morning or something after, they'd have to go through, first of all, they'd have to let the rain pass, which is going to be another, hour after they called it at, 10:30 or something. It was going to be another hour after that, and then they're going to have to dry the track, and that would take another hour. And then getting the race in, they'd be getting done at, 2 in the morning, and they don't want that. So they just postponed the race. That's fine in my opinion. They probably should have done that. But good grief, the weather problems with NASCAR, just obnoxious right now, I swear. It's I know it's not actually this way, but it just seems like we can't get a race in without a bunch of rain problems. Next up on the list is that in a new development, IndyCar is going to put a limit on how many laps you can run on a set of tires for the first race back at Texas. The limit is going to be 35 laps. Now, typically, I think they'd be able to run about 50 laps, but this is just a typical safety precaution thing, because obviously this will be their first race back. They're going to be kind of a little rusty for stuff like that. They don't want problems where, something's wrong with the tire or something, and they have a bunch of blowouts, 5 laps before they would have come into pit. I mean, there's not really a bunch of tire blowouts in IndyCar, but I know this is just more of a safety precaution thing, which I understand. I think it's a good decision. Getting back into these things is going to be kind of hard, so being able to have something to help combat, immediate problems like this, I think it's a good rule. But the main topic for this video is that Formula One has made some budget cut regulations that make it even more possible for the continuous rumor that Ferrari could be joining IndyCar as an engine manufacturer in 2022. Now let's first talk about the rule changes that Formula One has made. Before 2020, there were no rules on how much money you could spend on a Formula One team, and you could just spend as much as you wanted. But now they're going to be kind of slowly working their way down to how much money they want people to be spending on it. So starting in 2020, you will only be able to spend $175 million on your Formula One program. But here's where it starts to get a lot lower. In 2021, you will only be able to spend $145 million on your Formula One program. In 2022, it's only $140 million, and in 2023 and beyond, it's only $135 million. Now, the problem here arises when Scuderia Ferrari spends $300 million or more every year on their Formula One program, and they don't plan on changing that. So they have to move stuff around to make it so that they can adequately still spend that money and put it back into motorsport. Now, here arises the question, does Ferrari go IMSA or IndyCar? Now, I think you could make a good case for both, but today I'm going to be talking about IndyCar because I think you can make a more practical case for IndyCar, and I think there's more things leaning towards IndyCar. Now, obviously, the first major crossover is the fact that both IndyCar and Formula One are open-wheel sports. It's just kind of a main thing. But also, and really more in depth, is the sponsorship from Mission Winnow. They are not really much of a thing at all, but more of a marketing ploy to get Marlboro logos on the Ferrari car and team. Because in Formula One, you are not allowed to have sponsorship from a tobacco company. But so another thing is that Roger Penske also had some of this Marlboro sponsorship way back when, and he owns IndyCar. I think you probably know this. And, yeah, so at the point where you have a group that might be coming in with, and Roger Penske also has a lot of ties to Marlboro still, and, the, I guess, parent company of that, Philip Morris International, I think. I don't know much stuff about this. Just did some general research to find stuff out about this video. But, yeah. So there's a lot of big ties between the Ferrari group coming in with some of their sponsors and Roger Penske. Now, another thing is the competing brands between McLaren, Aero, SP. One of their main sponsors, Vuse e-cigarettes, and Juul. Now, you wouldn't think of this because there's no real sign of it, but Philip Morris International also owns Juul. So you have two competing tobacco brands, like, yeah. Essentially, you run into stuff like that where it's essentially going to be, like, competing brands in the sport, and that's the main thing about it, instead of, like, other things, I guess. And then, obviously, if Ferrari were to come to IndyCar, it would probably be able to attract some other IndyCar manufacturers thinking, hey, we're racing against Formula One if we do this. That could be a big popularity bonus for us. It could really help us in terms of, like, reputation if we can beat them. And, like, I mean, just think about it. If you beat Ferrari, like, that's probably a pretty big thing. I mean, they're a very good group of guys. But anyways, this has been Half Elite. Thank you everyone for watching. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. If you want more of these kind of videos, hit the subscribe button. And if you've hit the subscribe button and you want to be notified exactly when I post a video, make sure to hit the notification bell right next to it. Also, be sure to check out my last couple of videos. The video in the top right should be YouTube suggesting a video for you based off of what you watch. The bottom left is my most recent iRacing video, and then the top left is my iRacing playlist. I don't know, I'm going to probably change that at some point, maybe make that something different, but make sure to watch the video on the top right if you are interested in more videos on this channel. Thank you for watching, everyone. Bye.